Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Just had a stream with Allison Bender that's on my channel. So definitely watch that out because she offered so much great insight and really funny stories about being a journalist and her interviews. But now I'm joined with Saeed. We've kind of made this a tradition to do some sort of video ahead of this fixture. I was on your channel, I think, for the reverse fixture, and we posted something on my Twitter or something like that. So I'm really excited to have you on. I'm nervous about the game, but how are you feeling? How are you doing? Thank you so much for coming on.
No, first of all, I want to shout out to you, you know what I mean? I've been telling you to make the YouTube channel for a while, so it's good that you've got, your platform now, so big up to you. And yeah, thanks for having me on. It's going to be a good, you know what, I hope it's a good game, I think that's all we can do, is hope, because, the last reverse fixture wasn't the best, was it? So, and yeah, let's delve into this. It's a big game. It used to be a big game. I'm not sure about it anymore in terms of where we are. Maybe Chelsea are trying to get there and whatnot, but yeah, I'm excited, and let's do this.
Yeah. So let's just dive right into it. How are you feeling about this game? Because I was looking into the stats, and United actually have really good results or like a history in recent games against us. Chelsea have only won 1 in 8 in all competitions. United haven't lost an away game so far this season.
Yeah.
And I think the head-to-head, it's United 3 wins and 3 draws or something ridiculous like that. So does that give you any confidence going into this game?
Absolutely. I think for me, maybe I'm overthinking it. I'm thinking, but we've not won in a top 6 game. We've not got any kind of momentum in a top 6 game. No kind of open play goals. But that away record, I don't know what it is, but it's just kind of thinking to me, is it possible that we keep it on? Whether that's another draw, I'm not going to guarantee that. But I just hope that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says himself, you know what? I've not lost away from home in almost a year. In the calendar year, sorry. Why don't I just talk? You know what? Go for it. If I lose one out of the whole calendar year, it's not a bad, not a bad one. And I feel like that will show us. This game will show where both teams are. I reckon it will show where Man United are in terms of, do they want to push on to kind of probably cement second position. I think if we go 9 points clear, that's probably cemented 9th position. But if you guys come out of the blue, then it's a case of, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is same old. So for me, I'm apprehensive about this game. I really, really am, because I believe it's a massive game for Chelsea. But is it a massive game for us? Because we've almost kind of built a gap, 6-point gap. Is it a case of we'll take this one and then we'll go next one? Are the players motivated? City are 13 points clear now. Are they playing for top 4? They've got Europa League sites in. What ambitions have each other got? So I think it's easier for me as a Chelsea fan to go to the Champions League and still be competing in the top 4. But can we go in the Europa League and compete for that? But also you're in the Europe. It's kind of a weird one. We're trying to get Champions League football by the Europa League, but they're also in the Champions League as well. So it's kind of a weird one. But let's see, man. I think it's gonna be crazy.
Interesting. I just wanted to say thank you so much. I'm totally going to butcher the name Matej. Score prediction: Chelsea 2, Man United 1, and I obviously really like that. Just wanted to highlight this, guys. If you super chat, thank you so much, and I will try to highlight as many as possible during the stream. So I really appreciate it, and it means a lot to me that you guys would donate. So thank you so much. And so I want to get back, Saeed, to what you were saying. Who do you think this is a bigger game for? Because Chelsea have a really difficult run of fixtures coming up, playing United and then Liverpool, Everton, Atletico Madrid at home, Leeds as well. And like you said, we're trying to fight for that top 4 position. It could be a make or break going into that run of games. But for United as well, like you said, it could be really massive to either have a big gap between you and the rest of the teams competing for top 4. How are you feeling? Who do you think has more at stake here?
I think both teams, I'm not going to lie to you, I think both teams have got one. When you look at it, and you made the point there of you got them fixtures, we've got just as much as, tough fixtures have you guys got. We've got you guys, Crystal Palace away, which I think Crystal Palace are a yo-yo team. You don't know what you're going to get. But we'll probably beat them, but you just know what you get, especially if Zaha plays. Then you've got Man City away. and then you've got sandwich in between that. You've got West Ham at home, then Europa League game, then Leicester away. It's carnage.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It's very, very carnage. I think we've got 6 games in 18 days. I don't know. I think it's similar with you guys, 6 games in 18 days. So, it's a lot of games, and we've got a big squad, but I don't think we've utilized it very well. In all honesty, we haven't utilized it very well. There's certain players like Van der Beek have had a game time. Quan Matter, who else is out there? Just Matic has got a run of games now, but really he was in and out of the team. So I think for us, it's a massive, massive opportunity because we need to win trophies, but also we need to cement top 4. This is the kind of game where it could unravel the season. We lose this game, go to Crystal Palace, maybe get a draw, and then Man City, bloody, they're just on the next level, aren't they? So it's a massive game. This one, it really is.
It is. Do you think that it's any advantage to Chelsea having come off of that Atletico Madrid win?
Massively.
You guys drew in the Europa League, but you still went through because you had won 4-0 in the reverse fixture. But you think that helps at all for Chelsea?
Massive, because we have no momentum. We beat Newcastle, but it was Sunday night. I don't think anyone even watched that game, to be honest. It was just a routine win. I'll be honest with you, because it was one of them games where we won the game, but it never fulfilled me with kind of enjoyment. I was happy we won. Don't get me wrong. I'll always be happy we won, Man United Football Club. But, I was like, okay, yeah, routine win. But this game here, I don't know. I know we won the game in the first leg, but Chelsea have got the momentum of a big European night. The confidence must be oozing right now. It must be sky high. The players are confident. They believe in the system. Man United have come into it, and it's a bit like we've got a few injuries right now. We've got certain things, moments. We're going to have to rely on a certain place to kind of get us through the line. And I feel like Chelsea, for me, if there's ever a time to beat Man United, it's got to be this one. Really, really. I feel like
I hope so. Saeed.
Well, you would hope so, because I think that would be big, big questions of Tuchel if he doesn't win this game. And then you've got the Atletico Madrid game, where it's all looking rosy. You lose that game, it's like, wow, where has the season gone? It's fine margins, this, it really, really is. And has Tuchel got a basis to move with? I think he has. Has Oli got a basis to move with 2 players that are in form and the rest of them aren't? I'd want to back my team, but it's going to be a big, big tough ask. Even though Oli would make it 4 wins against at Stamford Bridge. That's not a bad ask, that 4 wins at Stamford Bridge, is it?
That's nuts. That would be absolutely nuts. And we have a comment from Govan. He says, this game has 0-0 written all over it. And I wanted to see what you think, because
I
feel like it's either going to be 0-0 or really open and a lot of goals. If 1 goal goes in, then the game's completely going to open up, I think.
Absolutely. I think for me, the first game is the first goal has got to be crucial. Whoever scores first, it will make it an electrifying game. I really do. I think it could be any scoreline. I almost go back to allude to the point of the first fixture when Maguire manhandled Aspilicueta in the box. And at first, I was like, you need to get out, mate, because that's very, very soft. But when I looked at it, I'm not gonna lie to you.
So cold. What are you talking?
Yeah, it was it was. Well, there you go. That when I looked at it again, I thought, wow, he's actually wrestled him to the ground. Maybe that was the kind of things that you needed to open up the game, because had Man United conceded a penalty, they would have went full flow, full throttle. And I feel like this game as well, it needs a goal from either side. I think it benefits either side. It benefits Chelsea because Chelsea raise their game. It benefits Man United, so then they kind of loosen up. They say, you know what, let's go for it. And that will be massive. Both teams would rather either lose or be up. You know what I mean? It kind of it wouldn't faze me if we were 1-0 down, because then it would allow us to play more. Same with you guys. If you were 1-0 up, it would allow you to play more, even more. Or 1-0 down.
Yeah, it's a really good point, and I really hope that we can get back at Harry Maguire for that tackle, honestly, because I still have not forgiven him for that one. But I don't know, I feel like you guys will probably play a little bit deeper, let Chelsea have more of the ball, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You guys have such a great counterattack. So how do you think that United are going to what's going to be the tactics to face this Chelsea side? And are you a little bit more worried knowing that Thomas Tuchel is now in charge? And I feel more confident with him and his tactics than I had with Frank Lampard.
Yeah, I want Frank Lampard back. You know, we had one on him. I want him back. Where's Frank Lampard gone?
Oh my.
Um, I'm not gonna lie to you. As much as I call Tuchel Van Gaal and the way he plays is a similar system. What Tuchel's got is the players now. He's got the players there to kind of implement a system to the most, for me, immaculate way. The game against Chelsea, I think the game against Chelsea, Atletico Madrid, yeah, there was a lot of emphasis on why Atletico Madrid were poor, but I don't think that was the case. I think the emphasis should be on why Chelsea were that good and the way they operated in a way where they stifled Atletico Madrid and they imposed their when they were suffocated and they had one on them. So for me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm super nervous, man. I just feel like for me, okay, Ollie did the one in Paris that night, and Tuchel, apparently he said in an interview that it still burns on him that night and he's still worried. He still has nightmares about that night. But if you look at it in terms of tactics, yeah, Tuchel has won over Ollie in every single minute there is. So when you look at every minute that goes by, Tuchel can operate a tactic, more than what Ollie could do, And I think like with Ollie, he might change this at half time. Tuchel might just say 20 minutes in, right, hustle the door. I don't want to bring it up the door, but hustle the door, you're coming off. Ziyech, you're coming off. We're not, he will do that. I don't think Ollie could do that. And that's the biggest thing about a manager. Implement what you do and be brave and bold. And I think Tuchel could do that. Whether Ollie could do that, I'm not too sure. But what I will say about what we have a chance is the high line. If Chelsea play a high line and they try and think that they can play out from the back and they think that, that Man United won't press them or whatnot, be very, very concerned in terms of playing out from a high line. I think Real Sociedad, I know not compare Real Sociedad to, Chelsea, but Real Sociedad played the high line and we absolutely destroyed them because they tried to play out from the back. They tried to play a high line. Rashford on the pace we had in behind and Bruno with the press. Yeah. We were unbelievable for me, and I feel like for me that will be the biggest kind of advantage we have. Apart from that, Tuchel wins every tactic possible there is. I really, really do.
Yeah, but I really like Tuchel's tactics, but I'm a little bit nervous about the implementation because we've seen the mistakes that Chelsea have committed in the past, just playing a higher line, having so much space in between the midfield and the defense, and just not being clinical enough in the final third. That's been an absolutely massive problem for Chelsea. And at that point, there's not so much that you can do just in the little time that you said. So I'm really nervous that United are going to just absolutely find a way. Like if Chelsea have the ball and then they're going to counter us and score, because I think that that's like a really strong point from your team.
Absolutely. And that's why for me, but then again, I'm looking at Chelsea. I think you've conceded 3 goals on the Tuchel's reign. That's a very, very kind of, not the stat I wanted to hear. I really, really didn't. I think if it was a shaky defense, but then again, I don't know how that defense of yours has managed to kind of be very resolute without Thiago Silva. Without Thiago Silva, I would have thought, you know what, they'll go downhill. But I think Azpilicueta is a leader. Every new manager he had, Azpilicueta, it just seems to me that he just grows and grows and grows. And I feel like for me, Kurt Zuma is a confidence player. Now that Tuchel's got him in the wing, look at Rudiger out of nowhere. He's come out of, and now he's starting to be a leader. For me, it's crazy, and that's what football does. You can be in an environment that is very, very, I wouldn't say toxic, but you're just not yourself, are you? And then as soon as another manager comes in, he puts an arm around you. He says to you, "Look, you're good," and whatnot. Then it's almost as if you can be a new player. It's like you're reborn. Kovacic, Jorginho, they're reborn players, and it's like that's what remarkable what Tuchel has done to kind of make these guys and almost have a purpose. Sometimes you can be in a team and you don't have a purpose. Jorginho has a purpose. Kovacic now is a ball carrier, and it's like and Mason Mount is still carrying on for me what he left on the front Lampard. Everyone would have said, is this the end of Mason Mount? Well, it's not. It's just carried on, hasn't it? So fair play to Tuchel. It's brought an environment and it's said to the players, you know what? I'm going to take this Chelsea team and I'm going to lift it up another gear, and he's done that. Normally, when you have a manager bounce, it kind of dies off. They're still going now, you know what I mean? And fair play to you guys.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with how he's kind of resurrected the team, so to speak, in such a short period of time. And I don't know, I am feeling pretty good about this United game, but I'm nervous ahead of every single game. So I don't know. I do want to play like kind of not really
Devil's
like a
advocate.
game, but I want to go through your starting 11, your preferred starting 11, which I know it's going to be difficult because you guys have so many players out injured, but
Yeah.
I wanted to see how you think that United is going to set up tomorrow.
I think, boy, something just tells me we're gonna go five at the back.
To
And
match
match
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Yeah, match him. I really do. I just feel like for me, he can't be the diamond now with Popper out. So he played. I think we played that against maybe was it Arsenal? We played a diamond. I think it was a diamond. I could be wrong, but I think we'll go David De Gea in goal. I think we'll go Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Lindelof, Maguire. I think we'll go Shaw left wing back. We'll then go with Matic and Fred in the base. Then we'll go with Bruno in the 10 role. And then we'll go with Marcus Rashford and Martial up top as a 2. And then, and then we can bring on the likes of Mason Greenwood, who could be a kind of a. But yeah, that for me, that's what I think we'll go with. I think that he will just match Chelsea and just say, you know what? We'll play a chess game and we'll just go. We'll just go. And whenever we're down, we're down. But, we'll just go with that for me. So yeah, I think that's what will be our team.
Do you see it being a problem that you don't have many substitutes to bring on to
Mason Greenwood, Diallo could. You know what? Diallo could be on there, but I still don't believe he could do an impact at the highest level. I don't think Ollie would put him in that kind of hunting ground. I'm thinking maybe Daniel James if he's fit. I think he's a doubt for the game. Matt is apparently out again. I don't know what. These strange injuries are baffling. McTominay could be in there, but he's a very, very doubtful. Yeah, so I think, for me, it could be, just Daniel James and Greenwood, really. That's about it, really, on the bench.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. So you're making me feel a little bit better being a Chelsea fan, honestly.
Yeah, I think you should be confident. I really do. I think Chelsea fans, they should be confident. Our record is absolutely abysmal. Of top 6, we've just not been at it. Van der Beek is out, by the way. But for me, this is the stats for the top 6 games. So 1 draw. We've got so many defeats, no wins in the top 6. 1 open play goal, 1 goal in the top 6. So it's been very, very, very terrible. So it's not something that you'd expect. And for me, if Chelsea don't take advantage, I don't know when you'll ever win against United. I really don't. And that's for me, looking at it from just a realism perspective, because if this was any other game, I'd be rooting for Man United, saying, you know what, we've got the better players, we'll destroy them. But we've been relying on Bruno and Rashford throughout the whole season. And you cannot do that against Chelsea, who, for me, have Mason Mount as an option. Giroud is another option. Even Alonso on that wing-back position is a dangerous threat. You're looking at Hudson-Odoi on the right. There's so many variants to Chelsea's play, whereas Man United is just like, if you isolate Bruno, and I think Tuchel will probably have that game plan, you isolate Bruno, and you probably won the game. Because West Brom did that, and we got a draw out of it. So why can't Chelsea do it with a better quality in there? So it'll all to be seen, won't it?
He's such an important player for you guys, and I can see it through my fantasy team. I don't know if you. Oh no, you don't play fantasy. I think we've had this.
I did. I started late this season, so I'll be there next season. I'll be back next season.
Yeah, so I have Bruno in my fantasy team, and he's like basically one of those players that you just always have because he can even have a bad game, but somehow still get a goal contribution. But like I said before, Chelsea have these really great players, but we haven't been clinical, and that's kind of been the story of our season. And I'm just worried that Chelsea are going to have so many chances and opportunities, and maybe we don't take them. We have Timo Werner, who's starting to come in a little bit better, but he's still not hit the ground. I wouldn't like put money on him to be scoring goals. You know what I mean? Mason Mount is capable of it. Callum is kind of capable of it. It just seems like they're kind of picking out the wrong path. So I do think that, you know, it's definitely going to be an interesting mashup, and each team kind of has their own strengths and weaknesses to play to. We do have like a starting 11 here. Thank you so much. Again, I really, really appreciate it. I don't know the numbers like off the top of my head. Like I know most of them, but you guys can, I'll just go through my starting 11 and then you guys can tell me what you think about it. Saeed, you can tell me as well. I want to get your opinion on one choice, actually, because I'm kind of between them. So guys, make sure to like this video as well. Really appreciate you guys watching. So Mendy in goal, I think we're going to play the 3-4-2-1 formation that we've been playing. And the center backs, I think, is pretty much picked because Zuma really hasn't been playing and Thiago Silva is not fit. So you have Azpilicueta, Christensen, and Rudiger. Now at right wing back, I'm thinking, do I play Reece James or do I play Callum Hudson-Odoi? And if I don't play Callum Hudson-Odoi, do I play him up front, basically with somebody like an Olivier Giroud instead? And in that formation, you wouldn't see Timo Werner starting. So, guys, I want to get your opinion on that because I do think Chelsea are going to have more of the ball. I think United are going to sit more back. And I don't think that that's necessarily Timo Werner's strong suit. Yes. But I also don't see Tuchel dropping Timo Werner for this game. So that's kind of where it comes to say, what do you think, Saeed?
I think you're right. I think maybe with Werner, it's not the best option with a team that could probably be kind of sitting back and maybe, especially against Wan-Bissaka, you know, on that left wing. He's very, very good in terms of 1v1 defending. You know, he's you know, more times than not, he's winning every duel. So maybe you kind of need something a bit of a different variant in there.
Callum to give the sauce. Like I think Callum and Wan-Bissaka could be a really
I think Callum will probably have like a maybe an upper hand, you know, and maybe will probably have a bit more trickery and a bit more kind of style in that position. You know, I feel like that could be more of a benefit of an option. But I think with Werner, it all depends on how the game is. You know, I still think it'll just be a tentative game. So I would go with Hudson-Odoi. I really would, because he could give you that option of, you know, very, very directness. I think Werner will get a bit giddy and try and go at players, whereas I think Hudson-Odoi is very, very direct. So that would be my kind of my option for that one.
Yeah, and Hector makes a really good point as well. And this is kind of the other point that I wanted to get to. Like in that, you guys tend to attack more in that left flank with Shaw and Marcus Rashford. I think even Bruno Fernandes might be able to like slide in there a little bit. So I would rather have somebody like Reece James, who's a little bit more defensively minded than a Callum Hudson-Odoi to defend. And then you still have the benefit of having Callum on the pitch. So that's good. I'm going to go with that for my preferred starting so far. I think that we'll probably see Timo Werner play, but hey, whatever. We're just chatting. And then I think Alonso's going to start at left back.
Yeah, massively. He's key. It's another player reborn. It's crazy how Chilwell is just out of favour. It's crazy, isn't it? Like 50 million and it's just not, you know. Maybe he's got to adapt himself to be in that system, maybe. I'm not sure, you know. It's
it's a tough one because I don't know if we're necessarily always going to be playing in this system either. I do think that we're probably like playing in it to try to like stop the goals, get some wins. And now it's just like, well, why bother changing it right now? But maybe going into next season, you don't want to spend 50 million on a player just to have him sit on the bench. And also Ben Chilwell is like 23 and Alonso is like 30 maybe. So going forward, I would want to like trust Ben Chilwell more in that position. I am worried about Marcus Alonso going up against like Rashford, Fernandes, even Martial. Really, I would be more worried if you guys had Cavani on there, but so I don't know. Alonso, I think he had one worldie that he scored, and every other game was like kind of average. I still get a little bit worried about him.
He gives you solidity, and it's almost like it's a key component in that wing back position. The way they play, it has to be imperative that a left wing back, you know, that can know the fulfillment of the job and can fulfill the manager's needs. You know, it just wouldn't work in a back five. You know, with Chilwell. It wouldn't work. And if it doesn't work, then why change it? What's the old saying? If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, I totally feel that. So looking up further up the pitch, I'm also keen to get your thoughts on this because I think I would play Conte and Kovacic. I know that like the pairing has been Jorginho and
Yeah.
Kovacic, but I'm nervous about. I'm not sold on Jorginho, guys. I have my questions and doubts about him. I don't necessarily. I'm not like high in the J5 hive as they say. Like,
So it's called. Yeah, I didn't know that.
yeah, it's like a whole thing. Like I just feel like he is a good player. He's a systemic player. And I think that the system is more suited to him than what Frank Lampard was playing. But I am really worried for like when we don't have the ball because I think N'Golo Kante would be key to try to win it back. And I am scared about United's counterattack as well. And I don't think that Jorginho is the right player to have on the pitch to handle that because we see him making a lot of tactical fouls. So I guess like who would you prefer to have? Who do you think Chelsea should have? And I guess who would you prefer to have?
I think for me, Jorginho gives options, but I just feel like Kante with Bruno, Kante would just annoy the hell out of him. And I feel like he would just make him suffer and he wouldn't let him go. It would just run around him. Then the energy would probably be better with Kante in there. Obviously, I don't want the best for Chelsea, but I think Jorginho would probably be better suited in the game in terms of finding that killer pass, finding the passing ranges, and trying to, break the lines, if you almost say. But if you want to probably win the game, you probably put Kante in there because he would disrupt Man United's only source of kind of creator or kind of goals. That's Bruno. So
exactly.
you want to win the game, or do you want to win it convincingly? Or do you want to kind of, win the game on a basis of, like you said, a systemic player? Then you go Jorginho, don't you? But, for me, if I was a Chelsea fan, I would go with Kante because he could disrupt lots of play for Man United. He really would.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking as well. And then just finally going up the pitch, I think Mason Mount is 1,000% needed. I think he's an incredible player.
Yeah.
And then we mentioned I would have Reece on the right wing back, so Callum and Giroud. I don't know if that we're necessarily going to see that. We'll probably see Callum and Werner up front. Who knows? But I want to ask you, so now you know my Chelsea team. Who are two players in that Chelsea team that you would swap? So you would give me two United players, and you get to pick any two Chelsea players that you want.
I would take... Wow, boy. Who would I take? I would take Thiago Silva. We need centre back, so I would take Thiago Silva. I would then take... I think I would take Kovacic.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would take Kovacic because I feel like we lack that kind of, aggressive midfielder. I think it would be an upgrade to McTominay in terms of ball carrier. I think we've got Pogba to do that, but Donny's more of a kind of a player who likes to play the total football. I would say, Kovacic for me. Kovacic, we need that kind of player, that kind of that aggressive kind of number 6, or that kind of player that could just get the ball and and box to box and just go with it. For me, I would go with Kovacic and Thiago Silva for me. What about you?
Let's see. I really like Bruno Fernandes as a player. He's difficult because I don't like him because he just gets a lot of goals. And so to have him as a rival, I think it's the type of thing when you're a rival, you hate him, but if you have him on your team, you love him. And I really like Marcus Rashford as well. I think he's really nice.
You said our two best players, our two only players that could play. Yeah, that's true.
Basically, I don't really want anybody in your defense. Your midfield,
Yeah.
like Matic, we've already had him, been there, done that.
He'll probably be back, you know, by the way. He'll probably be playing tomorrow.
Matic.
Yeah, because I think McTominay's a doubt and yeah, Popper's out. Popper's out, yeah, that's a massive one. If Popper is playing, I'd be so confident about this game. You wouldn't understand, but yeah, Popper's out, McTominay's a doubt, Brenner Beats out, Cavani's out, I think. Yep. So it's
Yeah.
yeah. Matic and Fred in the field, so there's no creativity at all there, you know.
Yeah, our midfield isn't very creative either, though. So I guess it'll kind of like cancel each other out. And do you have what's your score prediction? Last time you were on my channel, you said 4-0 to United. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that one. And yeah, I'm gonna go with 4 goals from that. Take away 4 goals from that. It's gonna be 0-0. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I thought you were gonna say like -4, and I was
No, 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 no. I think for me, I've predicted every top 6 game to be a 0-0. So I predicted I think it was Arsenal game, Liverpool game, I predicted 0-0. I'm going with 0-0 again. I think it's gonna be a boring game. I think for me, 2 teams who I think Chelsea will try to play more, but Man United will just be resolute, and I feel like we'll just be defending for our lives, and I feel like we have done that well to defend. So I'm gonna go with 0-0 Man United. I think it will be, you know, a point, and I think for me, it's disappointing point, to be honest with you, because I feel like, you know, to kind of be challenging for the league, you got to show your credentials, show City why, you know, you want to be up the top, you know. So I want to win a 0-0. I'm not gonna lie to you people. I'm gonna disappoint you guys, but 0-0 for me.
I'm gonna go for 1-1. I think that we'll probably see. Let's see. I think we'll probably see a goal in there, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it's a 0-0 either. Yeah. But guys, thank you so much for joining. It's getting late for me, so I need to like figure out some dinner and stuff. But Saeed, thank you so much for joining, especially because it was a little bit last minute. It's always so great having you on the channel. So I really appreciate it, and let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, appreciate your time, and appreciate you for having me on. Shout out to everybody who's been in the comments. You know, you guys keep supporting Elizabeth, you know what I mean, and her journey in the YouTube scene. But yeah, you can find me on United Central on YouTube, and yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to follow Saeed as well. Even if he's like United fan, you know, sometimes it's just good to banter and everything.
Yeah, no, of course. Appreciate that.
So if you like this video, please drop it a like, because honestly, it helps me out so much. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, because I have a lot of awesome content coming up and in the works for this month. So really appreciate your support again. And until next time, I'm out.